Hey, what's up everybody? Jeremy Donson here with thedrumprofessor.com. I am going to be doing Crazy Train by Ozzy Osbourne today. We're going to start at 24 seconds. I hope you guys really enjoy this. It's a lot of fun, super popular, a lot of cool fills in there. Nice fast beat for the verses. So as always, if you have any questions about what I do here, please do feel free to comment below or go to my website, thedrumprofessor.com, and contact me via email. And you can also, through my website, schedule a free one-on-one live drum lesson with me as well. I have students all over the world that take weekly classes live with me. So if you'd like to take advantage of that, I'd love to meet you, see where you're at in your drumming, and show you how to get to the next steps super fast. Take a lot of shortcuts to get there really quickly. So without any further ado, let's get started at 24 seconds into the song. Here we go. So throughout this song, through the part that I played, the bass drum does not change. It's a driving bass drum. It stays like this the entire time on quarter notes. Okay, so whenever you do the crash at the beginning, you're going to do crash twice with the snare, and you're going to do bass drum on the first crash and then after the second. So like that. Now, after that, here's what you do next. Right? So, crash, crash, 2, 3, 4, tom, tom, 2, tom, tom, 4, crash, 2, 3, That is the intro coming into this. Okay, so let's review that one more time from the crash, crash. So crash, crash, bass, 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 3 basses after that. 1, 2, 3. Then you're gonna do. Now it's gonna be very tempting unless you're already developed with independent skills with your bass drum. In other words, if you're used to kicking your bass by itself or hitting other drums or cymbals with your hands, but your bass not hitting all of them, then this shouldn't be a problem for you. But if you're not used to that or it's fairly new to you, then be very, very careful that you don't do this. Right? You do not want to kick the bass with every tom. You kick the bass with the first tom, and then the second tom is by itself. So okay, now that we got that, let's put it together from the crash crash. At tempo. Now, going over this fill, once you do that last crash crash, 1, 2, 3, you do 3 basses again just like you did before, and we're going to do this fill. Now I always recommend to do just the fill, no bass at first, just get used to the fill and what's called sticking, which just simply means which stick you use and why. And then once you're used to the fill, add in your bass drum. So the way this fill is going to go is on your snare drum. So let's review that. So we're going to do 1 E, a 2 would be the rhythm of it. So let's see. So 1 E, a 2, and a 3 E, and a 4 E, and a 1 is the counting. 1 E, a 2, and a 3 E, and a 4 E, and a 1. Okay, so going over the counting of this fill real quick, it's going to go 1 E, a 2, and a 3 E, and a 4 E, and a 1. 1 E, a 2, and a 3 E, and a 4 E, and a 1. So the way to stick this, or which sticks to use, is the proper sticking is right, left, left, right. Now there's a reason for that. So it's not just like, hey, the drum instructor said, do this, right? So it's not that. It's, if you think of it in 16th notes, so right, left, 1 E and then all you're doing if you stick it like this is taking out one of those hits. So instead of going 1 E and right, left, you're going 1 E and right, 1 E and so you're just taking out that and 1 E and 1 E It helps you get more used to your sticking. So what I did to help whenever I was first learning these little bit more advanced rhythms here, I would do this. I would hit the rim, 1 E and 1 E, and then when I was used to it, what the rhythm was supposed to sound like, then I would take that little knockout, and I would kind of air drum, right? I'm sure there's some awesome air drummers out there. I know I got in lots of trouble for beating on stuff I wasn't supposed to play on, dinner table, car, yeah, whatever. So, but anyway, so once you get used to that air drumming, then don't do it at all. There you go. And then you'll have the proper rhythm because you practiced it with this. And then finally. Now, if you just get the rhythm right the first time, awesome. Don't worry about any of that. But if you need a little bit of help, making sure you get the rhythm correct, that is a huge helpful pointer on how to do that. Okay, so now we have the snare part down. Right, left, left. Then we're going to add a right in there. So 1 E, a 2, or just right, left, left, right. Once we get that down, we're going to do 6 snare drums. Once we do the 6 snares, then we do 2 on the high tom, 1 on the mid tom, and 1 on the floor tom, followed by a crash with the bass drum. So putting it all together slowly. Alright, there you have it. Now, if you want to add some difficulty to this, we're going to add the bass here in just a second because the bass definitely is in the fill in the song. But if you wanted to add a little bit extra difficulty there, fill in those blanks with hi-hats. So instead of doing this, you're going to do this. So the snare part's exactly the same. Right? So just a little bit of extra difficulty if you wanted to try it. Alright, and now let's add what really is in there, which is the bass drum. So now the bass drum going into this is, as we said before, on quarter notes. It's on every downbeat. So going into the fill, let's start at the crash, crash. So it's going to go crash, crash, 2, 3, 4, start. So the bass drum starts with the snare fill. And then the next bass drum is going to be on 2. So 1 E, a 2, or bass is at the beginning. So bass, left, left, bass, right, left, left, bass. It starts with the first right, and then is again on that last right, right, left, bass, right? Starts with it. Bass, just like that. Now the next bass is going to come on the third of the 6 snares. Notice they're all on the right hand when the bass hits, if you stick it correctly. Now the next bass is going to come on the first high tom. So let's review where these basses are. So the first bass is at the beginning. The next bass is here. 1 E, a 2 on 2. The next bass is going to be on the third snare of the 6 snares that you hit. Right there. And then the next bass is going to be on the first high tom hit, and the last bass is on the crash. So, putting it together slowly. So starting at the crash, crash. Adding in the hi-hats. And there you have it. So there's your fill getting into this. Now that we have that down, we understand the bass and we understand the additional difficulty if you choose to do so with the hi-hat. Now let's go into the main beat. So once you do that, let's start at the crashes here. So. Okay, so we're gonna do bassy and a snarey and a bassy and a snarey and a. Now the bass hits first, so 1 E and then the snare hits next. Now since we're doing what's called a two-handed 16th note pattern on the hi-hat, your snares are gonna come off, or your right hand's gonna come off the hi-hat to hit the snare. So 1 E and 2. And the bass hits every downbeat, so it's also going to hit with the snare drum. So bass and snare hit together on that section. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and bassy and snarey and a little slower. There's the beat. Now, so on the fourth time, you're going to do this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So first section there is, right? Bass and snare. And then crash, snare, snare, crash. Crashes are with bass. Now, once you finish that, here's your next one. So let's start it. Let's say that if we just did the fill, we're starting at the beginning of the beat. So. Now, this fill also happens in the fourth measure. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the way we're going to do this fill is so snare and bass together, then snare by itself. Now, this again is optional here. If you want to do this, add the hi-hat. You could do this, right? Just like we did earlier. So you could do it this way. Make sure it's right, left, left, right. Because if you end right there, right, left, right, then you can do the rest of the fill with much easier sticking for you. So you could go right, left, or right, left, right. Definitely recommend right, left, though, with the speed. If you did right, left, I mean, the only problem with that is if you see, your right hand would be here, and then your left hand has to kind of, move over it or under it. Your right hand has to hurry up and get out of the way, unless you did like something like that, but you're only hitting 2. So it's really better to do it right, left, right. You could do this and then get that third hit in there by doing mid, floor, but believe me when I say you'll be glad that you do it with the correct sticking, because then you can do it super easy like this, which is way better, and you're going to use it more often than you would the other way anyway. So definitely do right, left, right. Now putting the hi-hat in there. Again, the hi-hat is an option. You do not have to do the hi-hat. You certainly can if you want. All right, now putting it together from the fill. Here we go. And there you have it. So I hope this was really fun for you and showed you the right ways to how to play it and how to stick it and why to stick it that way, and helpful pointers to help get the rhythm correct and add in the bass, etc. So definitely hope that this was helpful. And as always, please do have fun, stay awesome, and rock on. I will see you on the next video or in a live drum lesson with me. Thanks, guys.